Hello and good morning. Thank you very much for joining this training session about writing paper with AI as a booster. I can see faces from different countries. Later I will get to your introductions. Alright, allow me to introduce myself first. My name is Associate Professor Dr. Alireza. I have been working on digital transformation and I've been a lecturer for the last 10 years, 11. And I got my PhD from University of Putra Malaysia, UPM, in business economics. My MBA is in information technology from Multimedia University, Malaysia, and my bachelor was in industrial engineering, optimizing systems and analyzing them. So in academics, my research interests are mainly in performance efficiency and digital transformation. I have been here in Malaysia for the past 15-16 years. And anything else you want to know about me? I'm also originally from Iran and 39 years old. Anything else you want to know about me? Any questions? No? All good? Yeah. Sure. All right. Before we proceed and I get to know you further, please help me sign these attendance sheets. Really appreciate it. So, before we proceed into the topic, I want to get to know you a little bit and understand your stance. So during the training, I can maybe focus more on the things that can serve you better. Shall we start with the gentleman?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Alireza. I'm a project manager in Siemens Malaysia. I'm also currently a PhD candidate. I'm 40 years old.
Alright, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
I call you Nada, okay?
Nada, yeah.
Which stage of your PhD are you now?
Still chapter 1.
Chapter 1, preparing your proposal.
Yes.
Alright, nice to meet you. Welcome to the training.
Hi everyone, morning doctor. I am Divya, I'm from Malaysia. I'm a trainer and consultant for the past 12 years. And I'm also a PhD candidate right now, doing my semester 3.
Semester 3. Is your problem statement finalized?
Kind of. Yeah.
What is your topic again?
My topic is on the training industry in Malaysia.
Alright.
Yeah.
And how old are you, Nada?
40.
40.
Yeah.
I cannot ask you that question.
You can.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. My name is Yuya Zhou. I come from Seattle, China. China. It's a very, very pretty country. I very like Malaysia. Have my subject. I also a PhD completion.
Alright. Nice to meet you. I call you, okay? Or Yanjo? Which one are you? Both, okay. Alright, thank you very much. Thank you for joining the class and introduction.
My name is Wang Celia. I come from China. We are with come to the same place as the review for history for the city. She transfers in China. And we now have a PhD with me. Nice to meet you.
Alright, thank you very much. Nice to meet you too. What is your research topic? tourism loyalty. And yours?
It's EVA.
EVs, electric vehicles.
Yeah.
A very popular topic in China. Thank you for the introductions. Why I'm asking about your titles, today we are going to conduct the training writing paper with AI as a booster. So by the end of the training today, I am hoping that you have a better and clearer understanding on how to write a paper, not from the scratch, but driven from what you have already done in your thesis. We are not aiming to write the first quartile Q1 or Q2 paper. I'm assuming since you are PhD candidates, you either have not published yet or you haven't published recently. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes? So you want to know how to write papers. Alright, great. You're in the right place. Not only that, we are going to use some tricks that will help you get help from AI, not in a way to write for us, but to help us brainstorm and understand how we can compose a scholarly scientific paper which is suitable to be published in Q4 Scopus-indexed journals. Alright? Everyone clear about the objective so far?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Have your research interest and your thesis title in mind. I go step by step. I give you an introduction and how it looks, a paper, a Q4 paper, and then we will go hands-on, working with AI and see how we develop the paper. At least we build the main structure for the paper today. Alright? The agenda for today, the training overview, a structure of paper. I will show you some papers I published before so you can see how the structure is suitable for Q4 Scopus-indexed. Excuse me. A systematic writing plus the use of AI. AI prompts, how we engineer and how we set up the prompts so the AI will give us the best generated results. And then once we are done with the structure of paper, I will go to you one by one, check your progress, see what you've done. I will give you personalized feedback about it. Okay? At the end, we will have a Q&A. Before we go further, let me give you a little bit of background information of what is Q4 Scopus-indexed articles. What is Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4? Have you heard these before? What is first quartile, second quartile, third quartile? Not heard. All right. When you hear a researcher published an article in a Q1 Scopus or Web of Science index, it tells us that the paper has a high quality. These are the quartiles. Q1, 2, 3, 4. Q1 is the top 25%. Q2 is the second. Same goes with Q3 and Q4. Alright? Q4, what differentiates them? How do we know if one paper is of very high quality or is categorized under Q4? Is the number of papers being published in that journal and the number of citations those papers get. If a journal publishes many articles, but then the citation for the articles is too low or non-existent, it will go down into the ranking. But if it's useful, means other researchers are using it, are citing it, are talking about it, are doing research following up their paper, and their paper are being cited, then the paper rank will go higher and higher. The journal, sorry, so it will go into Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. Our aim for this workshop is to get an introduction on how to write a paper. We will focus on Q4. Does it mean your paper wouldn't be good because it's Q4? Does it mean that? Do you think Q4 papers are not good papers?
Is it okay?
Okay papers?
Not so sure.
Not okay. Alright. You are right. You are a little right. But if it's not good, if it's not okay, it won't be published at all. But when it's published in Q4, it means your contribution is not very large. If you have a great theoretical contribution, practical contribution means other researchers can use your paper. Managers, policymakers, if your contribution is big, then it will get accepted in Q1 journals. So in Q4, it doesn't mean the paper is bad, it means your contribution is small, but important. What if, I call it creating a research blueprint. What if the small thing, the small contribution you do is all that the other researcher needs to complete their paper? Is a blueprint that will contribute to their paper. They will read, when they are searching in that specific area, they find your paper, which is, what is your research topic again?
To measure the effectiveness of AI-enabled virtual learning.
AI-enabled virtual learning, I'm assuming in Malaysia.
Yes.
So if other researchers in this context search about it and they come across your paper, although the contribution is only to the training and AI integration, in AI engagement in training in Malaysia, maybe the contribution is small just to this area, but if the researcher is from Malaysia and working on another big plan, you can use your paper as a blueprint. So it's good quality, but the contribution is smaller than those of you. Okay. The indexing you heard, Q4 Scholar, Scopus Web of Science. The difference is the way they process their revisions. The experts they can contact and invite to do their revisions, and where we can extract the information in the libraries. For example, on Google Scholar, there are many papers available. When you read them, you need to do a reverse engineering process. You need to verify and double check if it's from a good journal or if it's from a peer-reviewed journal or not. Where in Scopus and Web of Science, you have more confidence that the paper has been through peer review or double peer review or double blind peer review. Means the reviewer and the authors, they don't know each other, they have no contact with each other. The reviewer doesn't even know who wrote the paper. If it's a master's student, if it's a manager, if it's a professor, they won't know. They will only judge based on what the researcher has written. Okay? That's the difference.
Doctor, I have a question. Why is it that everyone speaks very highly about Scopus?
Over the years, Scopus has created like a brand that the publications under Scopus-indexed are going through double blind peer review. So the researchers have higher tendency to trust the papers published in Scopus journals. It's mainly under Elsevier. Have you heard this library? So under Scopus, there are different libraries. Elsevier, Science Direct. There are cross-indexing as well. Later on, I will show you. There is a website, scimagojr.com. You can go there and search for the journals. It will show you if it's in Scopus or Web of Science, or if it's not indexed, if it's Q1, 2, 3, 4, it will give you all the information. Their H index, their I index, everything. Did that answer your question? Clear? Any questions so far?
Yes.
Good? All right. Let's set some expectations for this training, what this training will do and what it cannot do. What the training can do, it will guide you through how to write a Q4 paper. Organize it, prepare it in a way that it won't get desk rejection. What is desk rejection? You submit the paper before the editors send it to the reviewers. Look at it. Thank you very much. It's out of the scope. We appreciate it. Try again later. We want to have it organized in a way that even if it's getting rejected, at least we get some feedback. So the editor looks and says, okay, the formatting is in place, the structure is in place, seems like there is a contribution which is worth the reviewer's time. Send it to the reviewers. At least we get some feedback from the reviewers why it's not good, so we can improve the paper and resubmit. This is what the training will do. What it will not do is to give you some magical prompts that you will give AI and it will give you the paper and you will be like, oh, jackpot. Okay? I don't want to disappoint you, but no paid or plus or pro version, nothing can do that job to write the paper for you if you ask it. But if you want to use the AI as like a research assistant, someone that can explore for you, can provide for you the information, then for you to verify the information, put it together and prepare it for publication, that is what AI can 100% do for you better than any research assistant at this time with the advancement of AI in 2026. If I give you an example, my time in 2016, when I was doing literature review, I could review maybe 20 articles in one day. At the peak of my PhD, like I'm very fast, I'm already having the skill to review quickly. 20 to 30 articles is the maximum I did. Now AI can do this less than an hour. If you're good working with AI, it can review and give you all the information you need from over 50 to 100 articles within 5 to 6 hours. Help you digest and use the information. Okay, that's what we are going to do. AI is an accelerator, not a replacement for your judgment as a researcher, as a person who is the expert in the field. AI is the structured thinking partner for you when you're writing the article. It accelerates thinking, not replacing it. Your human judgment decides the quality of the writing, should decide the quality of the writing, and verification is mandatory. I believe all of you can use AI, right?
Yes.
Yes? Have you used it? I believe so. You have used AI, so you are familiar with AI hallucination. You know that when we ask information, if it cannot find, it will just hallucinate and give you something that you want. So when you read it, it's so sweet, you take it. That's where the trap is in AI. I will give you some tips on how we can verify everything in an easy way, and the output expectation, topic plus model drafted by the end of the session. I want all of you, with the research interests you have in mind and with the help you get from AI, to find the hottest, most explored research areas in your field, combine it with your research interest, and we have a title, and we can identify a potential framework for your paper. All right? Questions so far? All okay? Okay. The way we will approach it for Q4 paper strategy, we don't want to do a complicated theoretical framework. It's going to be a simple, maybe 3 IVs, 1 DV, or 3 IVs, 1 mediator, 1 DV. And we will rely on mostly published articles before. We will take it, narrow it further into specifically training in Malaysia and AI integration. What was your topic again?
One is the determinants of corporate training.
Corporate training.
Yes, which is intention.
So you will get the corporate training purchase intention, which is like a subscribing to the services, right? And then we will narrow it further, maybe to client value Malaysia. This narrowing down, although the contribution is small, but it's suitable for a Q4 publication. And for you said for EVs. We will try to get the EV purchase into Xi'an, China. And yours tourism. Same. Alright? Clear problem and objective for your study, practical contribution, a good sound model, proper methodology we choose for it, clean academic writing, and standardized research model for all. At the end, I will help you draw the framework. What I want you to bear in mind for the purpose of this training, I want you all to think quantitatively. We want to prepare, the objective is to write a Q4 paper, right? So I want you to focus on a quantitative methodology where all of us, where I can help you in a way move your framework into a quantitative approach. So the methodology is the same, we can all move together and prepare. Let me show you a sample. I told you a lot about what a Q4 article can be. Now I show you some samples. These are published before in Scopus Springer. I want you to look at the title and see the title is usually not more than 15 words. It's between 15 to 20 maximum words. And the length of the article is usually not more than 12 pages. In a way, it's good, it's not so long. You can easily write 12 pages. But in another way, it's difficult because the space you have is very limited and you have to fit a lot of information in. Believe me, before you know it, it's gone. Then you have to, again, summarize and pack information into the 12 pages. The title, Instagram Influencers and Consumer Purchase Intention, the Mediating Effect of Customer Attitude and our Social Relationship in the Cosmetic Industry. The papers start with an introduction. Once you're done with the paper, then you finalize the abstract. It has an introduction. In this introduction, there are two things you need to do. One, introduce your variables. Just write down the names and maybe one sentence of what this variable, like here we have Instagram influencers. Who are influencers? In one line only. Instagram influencers in your research context, which in this context is cosmetic industry. So influencers in cosmetic industry. Then you want to introduce purchase intention. Purchase intention of what sort of product, and it is online or offline. You have like 5 or 6 lines to complete to achieve introducing the variables. Then you want to write another like 1 paragraph about what your research is, what is the main objective for your paper. That's it. If you see, it's just 2 paragraphs. You don't want to talk about where the research is, where it's going. No, that's in the literature review. In literature review, for every variable you have, you want to write a subheading and discuss the latest research results in the area. Alright? Just a minute, I'm going to check the recording.
Minutes.
Seems to be working.
Yes, 6 more minutes.
Okay. So, introduction. In the literature review, for each variable, you will have 1 subheading. See, the first one here was the purchase intention. Please write down, take some notes on the order of presenting the variables. First is always the core of your study is the DB. Why is it important? You may ask me, Doctor, why do we have to follow all of these? Can't we just write? It's my paper. I want to follow my own feeling how I want to write. Can you say the same thing about speaking your language? If you want to speak the way you want, people would think like it comes off. And after 3 minutes listening to you, the person will be like, oh, I cannot take it anymore because the words are not in place. It's like a grammar. When the reviewers look at it, and the first thing you argue is the market or the DB, they know you know the language. When you start with an IB and they expect to see DB, they know you didn't read enough article to know the structure. So it's like a hidden grammar. It's not written, but the reviewers perform like this. First, they want to see the DB, and the IDs. Popularity of the influencers, similarity with influencers, knowledge of the influencers, consumer attitude and parasocial relationship, which is the mediator. So you want to discuss all IVs. If you notice, there is only maximum 2 paragraphs discussing this. 2 paragraphs. You want to discuss in a good way 3 papers. 3 papers that their findings is closely related to you and can support your argument of why you want to do this study in that context. Here, cosmetic. For you, training, corporate training, EVs, and loyalty, tourism loyalty. Yes.
So if you say that you have to cite latest papers, right? So what would, what is latest? How many years would be the best?
Okay. My time, I say my time, I'm not 100 years old, but AI has done so much in this area that we have to say my time. My time back in 2015, my supervisor would say 5 years. Now I'm telling my students, maximum 3 years. You want to explore the last 5 years so you don't miss anything, any recent events in the research. But if you see there is a lot of changes from 5 years to 3 years, you rely on the 3 years. Because AI is moving research really fast. So last 3 years would be best. Other questions? Good. Let me finish the paper structure and then we go for a quick break, okay? So done with the literature review and hypothesis development. This is a quantitative study. Then a theoretical background and research framework. Again, the limitation of 12 pages, you have two paragraphs to explain this. Number 1, what theory are you using? The reviewers know you don't have much space to explain everything in detail. 1, what theory are you using? Why are you using it? Sentence 2. And sentence 3, if you have space, you write, you consider theory A, B, C as well, but you didn't use them because in your context it didn't work. If no space, you can avoid that one. And then your research framework, the conceptual framework, what you are doing in your study, which is aligned with the theory. This will take around half of the page. Once done, it's same like your thesis, it's like you're done with chapter 1 and 2. Now you are left with chapter 3, 4 and 5. Okay. For this paper, I think is a conceptual paper. Let's go through. So in methodology, you want to talk about, for all of us, we want to use a quantitative study, so the methodology and the steps are very similar. But what I want you to do, when you write with the help of AI, you relate it to your topic and a couple of papers that has used quantitative methodology. You refer to them that you're following their footsteps. Remember, we are not contributing to methodology. We want to have a contribution mainly on theoretical and conceptual side, and at the end, future study limitation is a conceptual thing. Okay. Data analysis, Okay, let me put a quick pause here. You know the difference between a full paper and a conceptual paper? Okay, in brief, very short. Full paper is like your thesis. It must have a chapter 4, chapter 5, finding, discussion, contribution, implication, everything. But a conceptual paper does not have an analysis and analysis-driven results. What it has is like a solid chapter 1, 2, 3. Firm problem, firm theoretical and underpinning theory, and firm methodology. The data analysis part, like this paper, I believe, this one is a full paper. It has analysis and it has findings. If it's a conceptual paper, which is even more suitable for Q4, you don't need to do chapter 4 and 5. You conceptually present what is the result and what future study will do. Don't worry, we have some other samples I will show you. So for chapter 2, very short, you just present in one paragraph the reliability and validity of your analysis, and then the path coefficients, the relationships, and discussion of finding and conclusion. 12 pages reached. Before you know it is full. Paper 2, let me see if this one has. Alright, this one is a good example for conceptual. Introduction. You see it's the same structure. Introduction, same way. Literature review with the hypothesis development. The last one is the moderator. So the order is DB first, then IBs, then mediator, then moderator. The order of presenting literature review. The framework, methodology, exactly the same as previous paper. The structure is the same. For data analysis, in this one, the data was not collected yet. The researcher is saying there is potential in this field. I identified the problem, presented the evidence from literature and the support and the methodology. Now I'm at the stage that I will collect the data. When I collect, this is how I'm going to do data analysis. Analysis overview. How I'm going to do the analysis. In quantitative research, a quick shortcut for all of you so you don't have to go through a lot of trouble. We refer to Heyer's book, Joseph Heyer, 2022, the latest one. You don't need to read all the statisticians or refer to each of them partially. Heyer has it all in one. We follow that step by step. What he says, you analyze, you report. Analyze, report. Analyze, report. So the author says, this is how I'm going to do the data analysis. And at the end, conclusion, limitation, and future study recommendation. What the future study will do. Who is the future study? Who is doing this future study? In a conceptual paper, future study recommendation is actually you telling the reviewers, once it's done, I'm going to start collecting data, do my chapter 4 and 5 in detail, and submit for publication. So when you submit later your full paper for publication, if the concept is already approved and published, the next reviewer, when checking and finding out that you have some reference to this paper later, they will see that you published this and they'll be more confident. They will be more like, okay, instead of questioning the concept, now I'm going to put more focus on the analysis and results and contributions, implications. All right, any questions so far?
No.
Shall we take a quick break?
Yes.
Yes? All right, thank you very much. Let's go for a 10 minutes break. All right, welcome back. How was your break?
Good.
Good? Refreshed?
Yes.
Shall we continue?
Yes.
Now is the interesting part, the paper structure. So now that you know what Q4 Scopus-indexed is and what it contains within the 12 pages and all the information structure, I prepared a step-by-step, I call it 7+1 phases. I've been to many trainings before about publication, and every time I came out, you know, when you are in the training, you feel like, I am empowered, I can do it. You go home, you see, you open your computer, okay, what did you do? Where do I start? Why it's not working? It was working in the training, now I'm at home, it's not working. Where do I start? So it was always like a question mark for me, and I tried to come up with an 8-phase 7+1. I tell you why. 7+1 phases, step by step, to write the paper, bringing it to a state where other researchers can give you feedback. Before every phase you complete, you are able to communicate it with other researchers to get feedbacks. If not within this, it's just your thoughts, and then when you want to explain it to someone, they either won't understand you, or even if they understand you, they don't know how to give you any comments that can be useful. Okay? These 7+1 phases include the first one, for you to be clear about your title. We will identify and set the title first. No title, we don't know where we are going. Title is the compass, is the guide. You are reading a lot in your preparation, it's very easy to get off the track. This will guide you to stay in line. Title. Number 2, problem identification. Align with the title. The title contains your research variables and research context. Based on that, you will draw and you will put together the problem statement. Now imagine when you submit your papers, the reviewer, you are not with the reviewer. The reviewer cannot read and ask, what did she mean by this? What did he mean by that? If he doesn't understand, it's in your disadvantage. Because they will look, they don't understand, they most probably take it as you're not following the structure, the write-up is not clear, they don't see what you're trying to say, reject. It's not in your favor. So you want to be crystal clear when the reviewers read your paper, they can fully understand. About the problem, I'm telling you as a reviewer, when I receive the paper, the first thing I look at after reading the title, I scroll down to see the framework. From the framework, I understand relationships, I understand what is DB, what is moderator, what is mediator. I look at it, I know what's happening. Then, once it's done, I understand the concept, I understand the title, I scroll up, I look at the problem. Is the researcher able to communicate the problem? If yes, it's already 50% chance this paper is going to be accepted with corrections. These 3. But how do we do that? Think about it. You're not in the room with the reviewer. You don't know what time the reviewer is reading your article. Is it night? Is it morning? Is it afternoon? We don't know. We don't know the mood of the person. How do we make sure the problem is clear? How would you communicate the problem? Think about it for a minute. how can we best communicate the problem by writing only. We are not there to explain. We are not there to engage. How do we do that? Through questions. Through questions. Maybe you write. My research is trying to answer these questions. Is a good strategy, but the problem is the reviewer doesn't know what the problem is to find the questions and the answers. They still want missing link. Problem statement. Yes, in problem statement, which is embedded into the introduction, you want to communicate. Let me see if I can use something else other than research to explain. Imagine you want to give someone a cooking recipe. You're not there to show them how to do it, but you want to write in details. How would you do it? You will write, use these ingredients, exact amount, how much, and then when the person is cooking, they taste. There are some areas like to your taste. Is it salty? Is it too spicy? Is it too sour? And then they add and remove some ingredients. Same goes with this. You need to approach the problem from different viewpoints. There are three main viewpoints you must address. If you address these three, I tell you, 80% chances the reviewer will be convinced. Why? Because they know you read enough to understand the point. And you need to approach the problem from three viewpoints. What are the three viewpoints? You probably studied it in your research methodology classes. If you don't remember, practical gap. Wow, bravo. One, practical gap.
Knowledge gap.
Practical gap. Your research methodology lecture was really good. When was the research methodology class? But you still remember? It's good. Yeah. Two.
Knowledge.
Let's go with organized way.
Okay.
3, 2. 3 is
Industrial.
bravo. Industry. 4. Call it market. Yeah. And last one, knowledge. 4. You want to address these three. Even though you are not there with the reviewer, they still can relate. They know that you know how to communicate this. And they know you don't have a lot of space to address it. So maybe for each one or two sentences, and if you can put one figure that can show with number where the problem in practice and industry is. What do we mean by these two gaps? Similar. You want to say who's suffering from this problem. In training, you want to address how, I don't know if your research is on trainee part or the trainers.
Corporate employees.
Corporate employees, so the trainees, right? You want to see how these trainees are having problems with the engagement that AI is going to address. How many of them are there? How much does it contribute to the finances and economy? If this problem is resolved, how much would it help to the trainees and also to contribute to the trainers? Because when they get good service, the trainers are going to receive more subscription. Correct? That's the gap in practice. Who are the people or communities dealing with the problem? Number 2, industry gap or market gap. you target and explain how much in quantity. You want to give some numbers to support. You cannot simply say, oh, the industry is suffering from this since this year. You want to give some number, exact numbers coming from China or Malaysia Bureau of Statistics or official magazines, official reports. You want to explain the gap in industry.
Doctor, can we use newspaper reports?
As long as it's official, you can, but if you're using newspapers, one is not enough. If you extract statistical information, you need to have at least 2 or 3 references, 3 sources. But if it's coming from National Bureau of Statistics, means the government and other bodies are auditing it and everything is official, then one is enough.
How about the independent market researchers?
Independent market researchers, same with the newspapers. So if you go that way, you need to find one from independent, like the newspaper and the independent researchers, they shouldn't be connected. There should be 2 different bodies investigating them. Newspaper, the report, and the other agencies you want to refer to. Newspaper, journals, could be even in research papers. And the theoretical gap, for the purpose of Q4 papers, in your thesis, you have long space to discuss this. You can bring in maybe 5, 6, 7 articles for each variable and discuss. But for Q4 papers, since the space is limited, I think maximum we can discuss 2. Find 1 or 2 papers that are working very closely, similarly to your research topic. Cite them. When you scroll down in the papers, at the end, same like the papers I show you, there is a limitation and future study recommendation. They call for further investigation. You take it and you say there is a call. I'm the one filling in the gap. That's the reason. The reviewer read this, they know you searched, they know you went through, and they know your space is limited. So, clear so far? That's the problem. Don't worry, once I'm done on this slide, we are going to see how we use AI to help us put these phases together. The SMART objectives, this phase is usually not very clearly reflected in the write-up, but instead in the abstract. Your abstract starts with this. The main purpose of this research paper is to investigate the factors affecting corporate training with the mediating or moderating role of AI integration engagement, something like that. The purpose. Why we say SMART? Do we have SMART and none of?
Measurable, achievable, and then
Relevant.
and time-bound.
Time-bound. Right. An objective to be considered for publication in Scopus must have these 5 characteristics: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. I will explain more later. There is a slide about it. Confirming study variables. Once you have the first 3 phases, you have the name of your study variables. Here, you have the title, the main guide, the problem around the variable, the objectives, with the reviews you have done in the literature for knowledge gap. Now you connect these dots, you have your study variables. Once you have your study variables, you want to confirm. From phase 4, we don't change the framework anymore. And I am hoping you are trying to extract this paper from your thesis. If you do that, this part is easier, it's faster. I don't like to use easier, it's not easy, it's just simpler. It's like you get a kickstart. Once you confirm the study variables, you confirm the theoretical support. Which theory are you using to support the underpinning theory to your study. It's a quantitative study. We must find a theory that is having a very close logical premises with the conceptual paper of yours. Once theory is confirmed, we draw the research framework. For this one, I will go to you one by one. I will help you draw. By then, you know what's your dependent variable, what are your independent variables, and the intervening ones. I will help you to draw it. We follow, I repeat, Joseph Heyer's guidelines. So it's like a language spoken among all the researchers. They see your framework, they understand what you're trying to do. We don't draw it the way we think is the best. Phase 7, we clarify methodology and analysis overview. This is the 7 phases of preparing a conceptual paper for a Q4 Scopus-indexed article. What's the +1 I told you? Phase 7 goes through the details of chapter 4 and 5 if you're writing a full paper. We won't cover it in details. We will have another training that will focus more on chapter 4 and 5. These two, especially chapter 4, requires time for us to go through Joseph Heyer's guideline on how we will implement, how we do the analysis. Not only when you look at the numbers in when you're reviewing articles, I believe in your study stage, you reach the numbers, you scroll down. Right?
Yes.
I remember I was doing it. I assume you're also doing the same. You read chapter 4, you're like, okay, these are numbers, let's see. So what do they mean? What we do in chapter 4, we don't want to understand all the numbers, but we want to understand exactly the numbers that is meaningful for us as researchers in social science. Okay? Can I continue?
Yes.
Any questions?
How do we usually decide on the theories?
On the theories, very good question. How do we know which theory is best? I can answer you that question in 2 different ways. 1, removing AI from equation, doing it on your own. 2, doing it with AI in less than 1 day, less than 6 hours. Which one?
Second option.
With AI.
Yeah.
Okay. For you all to appreciate AI more, I'm going to tell you how I did it in very short, and then how I guide you to do it. For the theoretical, I remember when I was reviewing the theory, because theory has is a logic that we have to connect to, is a system. Then we bring this system into different contexts. So for me, I remember, I think I was using theory, plan, behavior, and technology acceptance model, and Utah. I studied, I have to understand the logic, and for you to understand the logic is like reading a subject, studying a subject. It takes 2-3 weeks. You study, it doesn't make sense, you have to connect the dots, it takes time. Once you understand the logic, now you have to see, can you align it with your study? If not, then you learn the study, you learn the theory, but it's not usable. You have to do it. So how do you know which theory is suitable? You don't have to go from the beginning. You go see in your context what other researchers have done, the theories they used and published. It's like a guide for you, can help you save some time. The more relevant ones you take. The second method, you can identify these papers, you give it to your AI of choice, and you ask to summarize the logic of the theory and connect it to your research framework. You give AI, these are my IVs, this is my DV, this is my moderator, mediator, this is the context I'm doing corporate training in Malaysia, blah, blah, blah. It will connect the dots. Let me maybe it's good if here I talk about it. So when the AI gives you the answer, how will you use it? Copy and use it. Yeah. It's normal. Many of us, including myself, in earlier stages, I used to do that. AI is saying it, and AI is so smart, can take a lot of information at once, analyze and give it to me. How can I question AI? There is a book called Everything is Negotiable by Gavin Kennedy. When you have the time, go through, and one of the important things in negotiation is like AI is giving you information. Should you take it? It's like a negotiation. Is it right you're giving me? Is it wrong? How relevant is it? You never take the first offer you receive. And you never take the first information AI gives you. Never. You have to go through at least 3 rounds. 3 rounds of refining. If you go somewhere, you say, how much is this? They say 100 ringgit. You think for you it's very good. It's really worth it. I expected 200 ringgit. You accept it? Will you accept it?
I normally do that.
You normally do that. You get excited.
Yes, I'm like, reasonable.
But the logic of negotiation says you never take it. They say 100. No, maybe 50, okay? You start negotiating. At least 2-3 rounds of negotiation. Even though it's worth it, if you want to get a good deal. It's already a good deal logically for you, but you want to get a better deal.
What was the book?
Everything is Negotiable by Gavin Kennedy. I had a mentor from Sunway University, Professor Michael Dent, MMD. Once we were talking, and he loved to talk philosophy, he talked to me about this and he told me, late professor, he passed away 3-4 years ago. He said, this book is my Bible. Everything I need to know about how to communicate is in this book, so please go read it. I read it and it's amazing. It's like case studies in different negotiations. Back to the AI topic. The AI. So when it generates and gives you the information, you don't take it. You ask AI, let's say you gave the theories, you gave your study variables, the context, it gives you all the information. Now you're like, okay, maintain this. I want you to verify one more time. At the same time, compare the logic on these papers and my framework with similar studies done. You said it in Malaysia. If you said it in your prompt, Malaysia, then you compare it with Indonesia. If you didn't say which and it was getting you all the information from everywhere, now you say, do it for me in Malaysia. Narrow it down to the context. After that, compare it for me with the similar studies in Western countries, in US, then with Europe. It will do a lot of work. It will go through a lot of studies. It will give you the. Later, I will tell you how to set the AI. So it will give you. It will give you prompt. It will give you feedback in a way that is most suitable for you. You train the AI. You tell it exactly what to do. Why? Because not all the information online available is open access. So you want to tell AI, find for me open access in specific libraries, in Science Library, in Scopus, in Elsevier, not in Google Scholar, not indexed, not in magazines. You want to say exactly what. I have a slide here. I will show you. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Any other questions so far?
Yes.
Clear? systematic writing with the use of AI. Can I ask what AI you use the most? Anything. ChatGPT. Say. DeepSeek. ChatGPT. But it's filtered in China. When you're here, you can use it, right? Okay. I have used many different from Research Rabbit, DeepSeek, Claude, ChatGPT, what else? Consensus, what is that? Codex. Which one is Codex? Perplexity? Oh, I didn't use that. Is it the Chinese base or Western? International. Thank you very much. I will have to check it. What does it do? Is it research focused or everything like ChatGPT? Everything. Codex. All right. Thank you very much. I will check it. I learned something new. I appreciate it. In my experience, there is a lot. Exactly, there is a lot, and sometimes it's confusing which one we want to use. But in my experience so far, I would say ChatGPT can best put everything together. Perplexity is really good. When you go into details, the responses it gives you, it requires a lot of time to go through and understand what's happening. But still, ChatGPT is, for me, maybe it's a personal preference. You can follow whatever AI you are using. In the beginning of the chat, you want to say AI how to perform for you. I call it like ice breaking with AI. I will copy paste this and send it to you later. You can modify it to best fit your requirement, what you need from AI. If you want to write about Scopus Q4, you want to say act as, or you are a senior academic researcher with 15 years of experience in quantitative social science and business management research, specializing in empirical journal publication index in Scopus and Web of Science. So now it will act like a researcher. Assist me in developing a publishable research article suitable for Q4 peer-reviewed journals. Follow these rules strictly and permanently unless I instruct otherwise. So the whole chat, it will follow these. Writing standard, use British English or American. You can edit this later to what you need. Maintain an academic, analytical, and critical tone. Avoid conversational language, avoid dashes, use commas or structured phrasing instead. Ensure logical flow and theoretical coherence. Source restrictions, only use publicly available and verifiable sources. Why we say this? Unless this is in place, AI is going to use all the available resources, which for paid journals, for paid articles, is only the abstract. What AI will do, will look at the abstract and then hallucinate what's happening in the article, give it to you, feed it to you. Can you verify it? If you have access to the paper, maybe you can go back and verify it. It will take you a lot of time and it's very challenging. So why not first just focus on open sources? For government or statistic data, use official government reports or National Bureau of Statistics. Not any posts on Twitter, X, Facebook, it will exclude them. We'll only go through official. For academic literature, restrict sources to journal indexed in Crocus, Scopus, Science Direct, Emerald, Sage, and Springer. With your needs, you can modify this. Do not use Wikipedia. Do not use Google Scholar as a source or database. Referencing requirement, use APA 7th edition in text citation. Provide full and accurate EOIs for every journal article cited. Everything it finds, it will give you the resource and the link to the article. Why we do that? For verification. It will help you instead of copy pasting the journal, the article title, finding it, you find it, you're not finding it, there will be a DOI link, tap on it, take you to the website. If the website not found, you immediately know it's a hallucination. If it's hallucination, you want to discard it, you don't use it. However, sometimes an error happens. If you think it's logical and it's working and you search the title, you can find something similar, you ask to double check. It will give you with numbers. The answer. Like number 1, this is number 2, this discussion. Number 3, say referring to the first point you discussed, double check the DOI, it will do it.
Doctor, I've experienced this. They get the DOI when I actually clicked on it, right? Nothing it says that this brand is not available. Is that hallucination?
Yes. Do you know how the AI extract all this information? If I tell you in very short, when we send a prompt, it will only take the bytes of the information here, and then it's called language. Large language model. It will use a pattern connecting your search terms into the bytes it has in its system, in its brain, and whichever word that is closest to you, to yours, it will match and it will feed it to you very quickly. So when even we say no hallucination, hallucination is actually what it does. Matches what we want with what exists, feeding to us. It's a hallucination, you will connect, but with verification we can clarify which ones are pure hallucination and which one are useful. Let me see if I don't miss anything here. So it will connect, it will extract, it will feed it to you, and it's your responsibility to verify if this is usable or not. Should we take a quick pause here?
Yeah.
Yes? Alright. I will continue this in another 15 minutes, okay?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Alright, welcome back. How was the break? Good. I hope you are not very cold here. Are you okay? Yeah?
Okay.
You can use my jacket if you feel so. While I'm presenting, I feel so hot. I don't need it, but you help yourself, alright? We were here, we talked about hallucination. Well, it's something you really don't want the reviewers to feel is that you copy-pasted stuff from AI without verifying. That's the impression you don't want to give. No mistakes there. If the DOI in your reference, and with my experience, if you have around 15 references, they are going to at least randomly tap on 5. We want to have 0 error there because that's a very bad impression, most probably getting rejection. Don't want to have that. That's why the DOI is valid. You tap, you verify, the article exists. When you tap, not only the article exists, you want to cross-check if the title and the details of the paper you see matches the one that AI is giving you in the discussion. Ensure that every citation includes in-text appears in the reference list. Maintain the cumulative reference record throughout the conversation until I request compilation. Once you have all, at the end you ask, please give me all the references you have used so far. You will list all. You take it to a Word file. There is a method. You can remove the duplicates very easily. Then you use the final one. Evidence integrity. Do not fabricate sources. Do not, it is another language to say don't hallucinate. Do not infer POIs. If a POI cannot be verified clearly, state that it's unavailable. Again, these are all going back to no hallucination. You are just making it stronger, so the AI will do a couple of revisions before giving you. If evidence is uncertain, state the limitation explicitly. Say exactly what is missing and what I need to go and do the verification again. The structure. Follow standard empirical article structure unless instructed otherwise. You want to write like this. You tell AI, I want to have abstract, keywords, introduction, literature review, theoretical framework, hypothesis development, methodology, results, discussion, implication, limitation, and conclusion. Then the AI will go one by one. You say, I want to start from introduction. Will one by one fill in. Later on, you go and you copy paste when you are done. It will be a long chat record. Methodological rigor, ensure conceptual clarity between constructs, maintain alignment between theory, hypothesis, and statistical analysis. When relevant, specify measurement scales, reliability, thresholds, and model evaluation criteria. Why is it important? It will save all the keywords and you can refer in your prompts. Following our conversation, maintain the storyline. Now do this. Now find me 10 articles in open access ProQuest and discuss the findings and relate it to the findings, to the structure and premises of my paper. You will go back. So you don't have to do this multiple times in one chapter. Do not begin writing the article yet. First, ask me for targeted journals, country, context, dataset type, theoretical framework, dependent and independent variable, and sample characteristics. If you don't write this last one, once you send this, you will start writing. You will start writing and it's absolutely useless. We cannot use that. If you do this right, you will say, I received all the instructions, I'm ready. When you are, we can start with introduction. Or we'll ask you, where do you want us to start? You say introduction, then you give. Okay? One important note, you can take notes to later on modify here. You want AI to always reason, then give you the answer. You add this in the condition. Do the reasoning, then give me the answer. Otherwise, once you post the prompt, it will have an answer and then will reason the answer, which is wrong. It won't do the reasoning. It will go. It's like out of nowhere. First you say what your answer is, but then if that's not the correct answer, you will look so bad. So you have to argue and reason that this is correct. It will do a lot of hallucination. Will give you a lot of information that is not accurate, that won't help you. Instead, you ask for the reason. It will show you its reasoning. At the end, it will give you the answer. It will give you truthful answers for you, the researcher, to use. Any questions so far? Everyone okay?
Okay.
Alright, let's go in details for phase 1. What I want you to do in phase 1, I give you 1 minute, I believe. Let's use your research, your PhD thesis to save some time. A research title for your paper can be your research interest plus latest trends, the last 3 years. What is the highly focused recent research trend? Does it match the your research interest? If not, where is it? How can you relate the two? And then the context, where is it done? Which industry and which geographical boundary? That will give you the title, the potential title we want to. Refine existing thesis paper or completely new topic. I suggest you follow your thesis. It will help you with your graduation requirement as well. The initial title should include study variables and research context. Must include at least your DD and one variable that includes all your IVs, something like an umbrella key term, and the moderator and mediator. The title might be modified later. We can modify it later. Until we send to the reviewers, we can still modify it. We cannot change the full logic. It's like a guide. You cannot change the logic. Your DB you cannot change, is what I'm saying. But the phrasing, how we put it together until the last one, is it in question form? Is it in semicolon form? That we can modify. If it's practical, it's simple to do. If it's your ideation, you want to come up with something for this, it's going to be a bit time consuming. I suggest you focus on practical from your thesis. Example for the title. The research interest is on AI integration. The recent studies show that AI integration on operational performance on food and quality assurance for food and kitchen is on high demand. So a potential title could be the mediating role of AI integration between technology adoption factors, which is the list of the IDs, and operational performance in the catering enterprises. So far we have the DV and everything, and the context and geography. Guizhou, China. Tila? Here? Yes? So I'm going to give you maybe a couple of minutes. Just try to jot down some simple notes extracted from your thesis. Write me the title you have in mind, and I will ask you to read it for me to understand so I can copy. It doesn't have to be finalized, just give me something. Okay? Write down your research paper, your title. Very good, Nada. Very good, Tia. I have a question. About the refine existing thesis, what does that mean? We refine already existing studies, so we can do also research on existing. Yes, we do. If it's unpublished, we can work on that and publish it.
let's say someone already published and then there's the limitation, so we can.
Yes, if you want to go from scratch, first you identify the industry and practical gap, and then for the knowledge one, you refer to the existing one's limitations. You address that this study called for further investigation on operational performance, for example. You are taking operational performance in catering, your contribution in this city. Yours would be, for example, corporate training with AI engagement or integration. Learning engagement, use of AI in learning engagement. Your contribution will be, what's your DV again?
Effectiveness of AI-enabled virtual learning.
Effectiveness of AI virtual learning will be your TV contribution in corporate learning, the context. You can narrow it down to Malaysia or even further narrow it down to Klang Valley. Maybe someone has done it in Malaysia, no problem. You narrow it further, make it more specific. Not all Malaysia reacts the same to the same way, right? If you come to Klang Valley, maybe in your corporate area, the result will be different where you conduct the study in, for example, Kedah, or in Perlis, right? Or in Sabah. Okay, I see, give it one more minute. Remember, we don't want it to be longer than 15 words. Should be within 15, maximum 20. Alright, let me start. Let's all listen to our friend's topic. Nada, what is your topic?
My topic will be the intervening role of learning engagement and job type on the effectiveness of AI-enabled virtual learning in Malaysian corporate training.
Excellent. The IV is clear, U is clear. Intervening means you have moderator and mediator.
Yes.
Excellent. And one more time, your context, Malaysian
Corporate training.
Malaysian corporate training. Okay, we can modify it later. We want to be clearer. Malaysian corporate training means only in Malaysia or Malaysian from anywhere. See, so you want to say maybe in Malaysia or in Klang Valley or in Selangor or in Kuala Lumpur. I don't know. Malaysian is a bit loose. We have Malaysians in US. We have Malaysians in China communities. Very good. Thank you very much. Clear. Divya?
The influence of training program quality, trainer credibility, and perceived value in corporate training purchase intention in Klang Valley.
IVs and DV. Any moderator mediator?
I didn't include the AI part here.
AI part. So you can maybe use semicolons to say empirical evidence on mediating role of AI integration, or from the beginning, say like this, you say the mediating role of AI integration or AI engagement between your IVs and DV. Okay, very good. At the end, did you have the context and the geographical?
Yes.
With Malaysia.
What? Is
Klang
it
Valley?
supposed to be very specific? I mean, previously I just, like, for my title, I just put Malaysia, but for this exercise, I can get.
All right. Depends. If you search in the existing literature and there is existing exactly same model in Malaysia, then you want to narrow it into Klang Valley. But if there is no study in this area, Malaysia. Malaysia. Later for data collection is also more convenient to collect data. Mr. Yanjo?
Okay. I could say the data analysis of the competitiveness performance in Shanxi of China's new areas manufacturing factory. The meditation role of smart medicals innovation complexity.
All right. So it's clear, and your geographical boundary is also clear. Very good. Excellent. Celia? Yes. Can you say a bit louder?
Okay. My title is Tourism Loyalty Promotion in Shanxi's cultural tourism industry. Impact of AI-driven travel decision-making with tourist satisfaction as a major.
All right. It's clear. It's clear. Later on, when we are doing the framework, I will go to you. We try to reorganize it so the mediating part comes in the beginning. In English language, we want the mediation, something in the middle of IPs and Ps. It's clear. We will just rephrase it a little bit later. Okay? Okay. Any questions here on the title? Are you all having? I don't expect you to know exactly the title, but I expect you to have like 50% clarity of what is it you want to do for the Q4 paper. Okay. Is it there?
Yes.
Okay. Can I move?
Yes.
All right. In phase 1, how do we use AI? You are given the ice breaking. Now follow up. Don't worry about this. I will send you all the prompts in the group we create later. I will send you all. You can use it. With the information given to you so far, help me efficiently identify the title, research scope, and context. List down what I should specify. This way, AI will give you some feedback like a review. You can even act as a reviewer, and with the information given to you, help me efficiently identify the title and the context. It will give you suggestions. And then it will tell you what you should exactly include. I believe when you are writing, I will be around. And yes, one way you can message me. It may take some time for me to get back to you, or easier, just have this conversation with AI. Once you get the response, instead of using the information straight away, what do? We ask a question again. We want to narrow it further. With prompts, narrow it and improve the AI response. Like, do you suggest any other relevant context other than catering enterprises? For you will be corporate training. For you also corporate training, right? For you, purchase of EVs in Shanxi. For you, tourism loyalty. You ask, you will go and search the recent articles, will tell you what other contexts are relevant and maybe more suitable. In my own paper, when I was doing this, when I did it, it said catering is one. You can also focus on, I remember the response was, focus on high value context and industries like hotel catering specifically or airline catering specifically. Because quality assurance there is very important. Their business depends on it. This AI integration will be embedded into kitchens. You explain about your context. Monitor hygiene and quality assurance with auto report generation features, helping managers to monitor kitchen hygiene and assure customers that kitchens and catering enterprises has a high quality assurance proceedings. You explain your context. It will go search exactly similar to this context. What other context are there? It's like a research assistant. Once you have all of this, you go maybe further narrow down. When you have it in similar context, then you say, so are there similar cases in similar culture countries, then maybe you will choose, you will check Malaysia, and based on food, you will find out that halal is important, then you will search in similarly context like in Indonesia or in Singapore, most probably not in China, for example, in comparison to the research context. Alright? Help me brainstorm ideas first. Use existing literature from open access databases given to you earlier. We already specified everything. No Wikipedia and no hallucination. Once we get all the information, what do? We cross-check the BOIs, the ones that are, we don't want to check all. We want to see, is it relevant? If yes, then we check. Is it good? We should have another file to compile all this information to tidy it up later. Moving to phase 2, the problem. You want to write down the problem statement. Explain problem from viewpoint of gaps. Give the 3 gaps. Practical gap, what is the problem that common people, customers, users, employees are facing? In parentheses is your own research context information. For you will be the trainees or the trainers. For you will be the car users. For you will be the tourists. Specify. Then industrial and market gap. What is the problem in the specific market or industry? Training, car industry, tourism and hospitality. Here, catering and food preparation and processing. How is the problem you try to highlight is affecting the targeted market and industries? Ask for numbers. Give me statistics to highlight the industrial problem. You will tell, what is it? You know, let's take these 2 phones as an example. Me and you are having a conversation. How can we compare these two? Maybe the operation system is different, maybe. There are so many things different about them. How can we argue about the specification of these phones? At the end, we have to see, is it available in this market? How much does it cost? The money and finance part is a good area to pinpoint. See how much this context is contributing to the economy of the country, to the GDP, to the industry. The industry is contributing to the well-being of the economy, to the GDP. When you have numbers like 5 million RMB, 5 trillion RMB, then is something we are talking. Even if my research is contributing 1%, which is very small, but in 1 trillion ringgit, it's still a big number. Okay? Theoretical research. What is the limitation in the current studies? How is your paper addressing, fulfilling, contributing to fulfill this gap? We'll give you some feedback. Again, you refine. You ask more detailed questions. If you think, I believe with your experience with AI, you must know when it's giving you general information. General information it's giving you is never usable for publication. You have to ask for, do a comparison between Malaysia or between Klang Valley and Borneo. With comparison, you have something to present more specific. Can I move?
Yes.
Alright. The AI prompts you can use. Briefly explain the issues in your own words. You want to briefly say about the problem. Then the prompt, help me approach this issue from different research gap angles, theoretically existing studies not older than 5 years or within 3 to 5 years, industry and market and practice. First of all, only focus on practical. It's important for you to give industry and practice together. It will give you the practice first, but it will take the industry into consideration. It will make it like a story flow. When you get the response, find strong evidence. You're not going to use it. This is to give you the first generator. The second one, find strong evidence from official reports and government websites such as National Bureau of Statistics to support the practical gap and issues faced by users, customers, and employees. Further, list down and save all the references for when I ask for them. With the identified gaps, act as a reviewer, this part is important, and give me comments about my research variables, specifically for my PB, which is operational performance. Do similarly for the rest of the gaps and for the rest of the variables you have in your study. Always narrow down the responses. First to third generated info is mostly general, which we don't want to use. That's why I said if you even have planned to copy paste it from AI, the first until the third one is not usable. I'm preparing the problem statement aligned with the research paper. You can find a paper that is closely related to you and you're narrowing it down into a specific context or geographical location. You give that paper to AI. Say, I want to do similar to this. Now, what information should I prepare and help me do an in-depth research in publicly available resources in the predefined databases and libraries. What happens if you don't do all these details? General, and AI cannot tell you, can you be more specific? Usually we'll give you some, and then at the end, recently I see, especially Google Gemini and ChatGPT ask me, if you answer these questions, I can give you a better response. So, by these specific prompts, you can help reduce the amount of hallucination the AI will do. Is that all? I'm giving you just a blueprint. This is cracking the ice on top of a big ice mountain. What you can do here, and this is what worked best for me, is that all? No. When you work on AI, ask, what are the questions I can ask you that help me more specifically break down the topic? So you can ask me these 10 questions. It will suggest how to crack into further details. Take note whenever you need, because the responses it will give you in that chat thread is all related specifically to your research and to your research numbers. Any questions so far? We move to phase 3. Alright, we have two options here. How much time do we have? To the next break, 5 minutes. Okay. Why not these 5 minutes instead of going to phase 3? On phase 2, I want you to open your AI. You have your laptops with you? Or on your phone. Start a chat thread. I'm going to send you the prompt, the ice-breaking prompt. Edit it, send it, and make sure at the end it doesn't generate anything, but tells you, okay, now I'm ready when you are. When you see that is when you can start. You have your title, give your title, and start giving these prompts. See what sort of information you can get. I want you to narrow it down, maybe 1 or 2 rounds. I will help to check and give you some feedback. And let me send you the ice-breaking prompt. For your information, I just want to have your trust in these 7 phases. I've done this multiple times in different universities, and the results I believe there has been more than 50 articles. More than 50 articles. Everyone attending the workshop at the end managed to write one. So please believe in these 7 phases. You can do it, and I will help you. Alright, I created and simulated prompt. We can use it now. Once you set up the AI, we go for another quick break, okay? And then okay? You receive my instructions? Okay, I believe when you copy paste this in DeepSeek, if I remember correctly, he will still do the paper for you. He will write. He won't say, okay, I'm ready when you go on. Can you post and get some feedback what it says?
Can I also check my friend's one?
Yeah, sure.
Can I see how basic shows? So you're using DeepSeek?
It's a big.
Are you using DeepSeek on phone now?
DeepSeek is in my
Your
computer.
computer.
I found is
Another China.
Chinese.
Oh, I see, I see.
Can you give it here and see how he will respond?
Oh, so normally only the phone you use this.
Can you paste the instruction here? I want to see how it will show you the result. And something interesting, when you work with DeepSeek, sometimes automatically give you the response in Chinese.
Yes.
And then keep all the communication in English.
That's what I was interested in.
They're actually doing really good, the Chinese companies.
And it's very fast, doctor. Very fast. Like, even the terms of generating the answer, but it's quite lengthy also.
Correct. Correct. They have a new one coming, I think it's called
Codex.
not Codex. There's another Chinese machine learning.
New AI.
Yeah, it's a new AI. I don't think it's work body. It's a Chinese like
Keep it okay.
something like that. You know it? Yes, I think so. The speed they are developing all these AI languages and so much cheaper than the Western ones is fascinating. Chinese are the masters of making things cheap. We should really thank them.
Oh, my friends told me ChatGPT is smarter than China's thing.
Than the China one. In my experience, we cannot say which one is better because it depends on how and where you want to use it. In some areas, I would say other GPTs are doing even better. The other day I was helping one of my friends, he said, I'm contacting a lot of lawyers, I want to write a case. It was a story, I don't want to go into the details. And I said, let's see if AI can do it. I said, go back to the country laws and regulations and refer to specific acts, write this case, like I said in ChatGPT, Perplexity, and DeepSeek. The best, smoothest one in this case, guess which one? DeepSeek. DeepSeek was, when reading it and everything, detailed with all the references into the law of that country. Law, regulations, the act, which one. Clean, ready to copy paste. But you're using this?
Yes.
Did you get the feedback that okay, I'm ready?
So it's not like giving the answers straight. So
Yes.
yeah.
Alright. Wikipedia will never be used. Google Scholar, okay? At the end it says I'm ready to start. Or to ask you questions.
I will not begin drafting any section of the article until you instruct me.
Okay. How about you? Are you using ChatGPT?
I'm using both DeepSeek.
Okay, good.
How do you comparison? Yeah. But I found another which has two AI models. All this is one tool. The ChatGPT.
What does it say at the end?
Please ask for the clarification, provide the answers. So it asks some questions. So the question so whether that
Okay. The response this language model is giving you is really extensive. If you want to work it, you have to, each one question, I didn't read in details, but I just skimmed through when you were scrolling. Each question can have another 50 questions under them. So you have to go very organized. Maybe you open one chat for each of these questions or each the grouping 1 to 3 they put together to discuss. I believe if you go through, one is mostly on the research topic, you see. Second one, the core is mainly your variables and the problem side.
Yeah.
You can go in details with these questions. You remember we went through, I said you can ask AI what sort of question, what sort of information I can provide to clarify is this part. It's giving you straight away without you asking. It's very important to keep things organized with AI, otherwise the responses you get is going to be very difficult to use. because it will connect the dots. It's like running away from the main point of the article, and then you have to bring it, put it back into the boundaries you define. You have to keep it in that border, in that boundary. What sort of feedback are you getting in your Chinese AIs? You see? About everything in Chinese. Even though you give information in English, still giving you in Chinese? Did you send the prompt, first one in English, right? Okay, but still, if you respond, oh, this is the thinking. This is the thinking. Switch to Chinese automatically. I wish I could read Chinese. I wish. It's not just a wish, I'm working toward it, but it's very time consuming. Feel free to ask me if you have any questions while going through the prompts.
A very detailed method that keeps giving you suggestions rather than just giving you answers.
In fact, that's what you should be looking for. It shouldn't give you the answers. Your human logic should put all this information together and build the answer. Craft the answer. These are the DOIs. You can check if it exists or if it seems like it exists. You look from perception to behavior, ChatGPT, right? We go back. It was this one, right?
Yeah.
From perception. So
Oh, yeah.
there's no hallucination. It's a paper. You want to open it. See, download PDF. It was an open access article. This is something you can really use. If the information it's giving you is good enough, you all can if possible, if you can listen in your background. So now she found one good article that is open access, the DOI is working too, and AI is giving some insight at how this article is related. What you want to verify now, is it enough? Is your job done? verification is not complete. We still don't know if it was hallucinated information or it was really driven from the paper. You have two options. Number one, old school, read the article. It will take you over 3 hours. You don't want to do that. Option two, ask AI, quote exactly the phrase you extracted this information from, or you reasoned this feedback exactly from which part of the article, quote it for me. It would take that part of the paper exactly in quotation where I got this information and how I logically gave you this information that is related to your paper. Then that is almost the last stage of verification. You can, then with your human logic, you can see, was the quotation and the feedback driven from pure logic or some sort of hallucination? Give it a photo of the stages, because it's giving you a very nice.
Exactly, so I was just thinking that, but I just copy paste the form that actually.
Just copy paste the one. It's very scary actually. If you didn't give a photo,
Yeah.
it's in a way like,
I just copy paste it.
I don't know if other students, when they chat, it's in their server, so now they know this training, or it's just.
Because like what you said, 7 plus 1, right?
Wow.
It already studied you.
I think
Your
it's
brain
already.
is here.
I think it's already in their language server somehow.
Your brain is here.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Because it's like Z is 7 plus 1, 8, right? That's why I was very surprised.
I thought it has a photo of that slide. That's
No,
why
I
it's
didn't. I
giving
did
you.
not upload.
Yes? No? Huh? Hallucination. Hallucination. When tap, what does it show? Show your classmates? What does it show?
Yeah, I also got this.
Yes.
I also got like that too, not found.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is something I got, yeah.
So when that happens, too often you have two options. Number one, refer and say this link is a hallucination, find a reliable link and double check. And if it happens multiple times, it shows that that AI language model you are using is not very suitable. So you may want to change it. AI was relatively new back in 2020, I think 2023. So I was examiner on a thesis for PhD, and it went down terribly for the student.
Okay.
Terribly for the
Because
student.
they copied exactly.
They copied exactly, and then there was the student used a theory to support the framework. The theory name was really odd,
and being in this field for very long, I've never heard such theory. But then I read all the reasoning and I was like, I missed it. This is something, but it's not going into detail. So suddenly it hit me, what if it's a made up? The name of the theory was Theory of Social Media Marketing, something like this. The name was very odd. So I searched, I didn't find anything, and I went back and I redo. I see that a part of theoretical underpinning theory of the thesis is based on an hallucination. And when I asked the student, unfortunately I couldn't approach the student and say, this is wrong. It is like, so during the Web, I asked, and the student was very humble. She said that, yes, this is what happened, and she made a mistake in verification. She thought the source is right. So,
What happens in that case, Dr. when there is a totally wrong?
It's based on consensus between the examiners. If the student insists on the mistake, is a fail, she has to repeat it. She has to redo because the theoretical foundation is wrong, something is missing. But if the foundation of the theory is good and that missing hallucination theory was a support, and the student is humble, addressing that, yes, okay, something went wrong and I will correct it in the corrections, then we can accept it. We can talk to the examiners and see if it's not too critical, if it's not the foundation, it can be corrected, then okay. But if it's the main theory based on hallucination, no way the student has to make major amendments. Alright, I think we are good with this experience due to lack of time. Let me also brief you on the phase 3. I give you maybe 30 seconds to wrap it. Then we go phase 3. Alright, I'm going to conclude the lecture part of the training today for this session with phase at the end of phase 3, and then we will I will do a quick summary. At the end we will do a Q&A. Is that okay with everyone?
Yes.
All right. All right, the phase 3 is the part you want to write the objective. I believe you all have learned about it in your research methodology. You know what the SMART objectives are. You write a general objective, which is very similar to the title of your paper, the title you prepare, and then 3 to 4 specific objectives. I believe 3 is enough. One objective, the relationship between direct variables, like IVs and the DV, one objective. Objective 2, to investigate the relationship between the mediator, or the intervenings, and the DV. And the third objective, to investigate the mediating role or moderating role between the IVs and DV. If you have moderator and mediator, then minimum you will have minimum. If you have either, you can have it in 3 objectives. Okay, you turn. So the objectives, be very specific, measurable, achievable. I strongly suggest you find a thesis or a research paper, you look at how they phrase it. You don't want to phrase it in your own way, please don't do it. When you do it aligned with other researchers, the reviewer will have trust that you have done your research, you have studied so many different objectives, now you know how to write it. Okay? Don't do it your way. The kind of prompts you want to use in this stage, write the general objective in your own words, and then ask for suggestions for specific research objective. In that chapter, AI, the language you use, already has your study variables and has the objective. Now I will construct for you the specific ones. The same thing I gave you, most probably will do exactly the same. IVs DV, the intervening and DV, and the role of intervening between IVs and DB. You can find a high quality article, share the specific parts of the content and ask AI to do exactly the same. Or the story, context, field and market industry should be closely aligned and coherent. If the context is catering enterprises, the examples and literature discussion should not be from EBCOMs, from other. So you are doing on corporate training, don't use the reasoning in this part from other contexts. Should be very specific, highlight it to AI. Reviewers love a good storyline from the intro to the conclusion. So as you are preparing, as you are moving along with AI, always keep writing this short phrase. Maintain the storyline. You will connect the prompts, the generated information line with the story. Ask AI to maintain storyline throughout the suggestion and searches. Write down the objectives limited to 3. Use smart guidelines to compose the objective. Just write it as a prompt to AI, you will know what to do. Help to prepare a paragraph statement that connects my introduction and problem statement with the study objectives. It will draft it for you. Already knows that you are a researcher with 15 years of experience, the icebreaking, everything is set. It will give you a statement. Will you use it? No. Unless you verify 3 times with 3 prompts, then you extract it, you do your own verification, then you use it. Once confirmed, save the research objectives. You can ask AI to do it. In my experience, is not really good because the longer it takes, it's not so easy to find the information. So have another file, copy paste all this relevant information, later easier for you to extract. Okay? Any question on phase 3? No?
Okay.
All good? Alright. Now, as a quick refresh for you, let me summarize what we went through today. By now, I believe you have a better understanding of Q1, quartile 1 to Q4 Scopus-indexed. So it's not that we are doing a bad article, is that our contribution is minor, is small, not so large, but still good enough for a Q4 scope in Scopus index. We know there are different indexings. You are clear about the use of AI and how you prepare the prompts and the expectation. The model draft is clear. I will share with you the slides. You can have another look on the sample. The first sample is a full article. The second one is a conceptual. I want you to focus on conceptual first, since your PhD stage is all of you before proposal defense, right? So you don't have data. If you want to speed up, you can have one conceptual paper prepared and published. Once the concept is published, after your proposal defense, when you're collecting the data, you can quickly publish the second one. Okay? So focus on the second sample for your special case, the sample 2, quantitative and conceptual. All right? This slide number 20, should give you a clear guideline, like a very brief overview of how you draft the 7 phases. We covered it until the third one. The title is clear, I believe, by now. The problem identification. I can see what you're trying to do, but as you go in depth later, I'll give you time. You can take all of your notes and the prompts, complete the problem from the 3 gaps point of view. And the SMART objectives, we will continue to complete the stages in the next session. Alright? Is it clear? Any questions so far?
Doctor, just want to ask a general question. What are the challenges that you faced when you were writing a paper? And how did you overcome it?
I think, thank you very much, good question. One of the main challenges is always to organize the writing and to make sure that the information is the most recent and relevant to the topic. Again, now it's much easier to do because we have AI. It's like a full-time assistant. Anytime you can't sleep, you can go to work. It's not like by the time I contact my classmate, he's sleeping, tomorrow morning, I don't know what to do with this part. You can easily get all the information customized to your need. Please use it. Use this. It's very, very useful. I think that is one of the main challenges, organizing the information we have, because there's an ocean of articles out there. And for you to narrow it down, you need to have the article hunting skill. Very good question. So I suggest after the training today, you go back to the libraries I mentioned, Science Direct, Scopus, they all have a guideline how you do search in this database. What phrases you use, what keywords you use the quotations, how you conduct the search so you get the best articles that is closely relevant to your area. Once you know those research hunting skills, you spend less time in finding and you also get better results in your search. These were mainly the challenges. What is your challenge?
The same thing. I mean, like if I don't use AI, right, when I'm actually reading, if I do not use the right technique, I'm taking such a long time. And then when I actually, complete reading the important parts, actually get tired throughout the process. And I do not know where to, focus on and all. Then that's when I actually attach. Sometimes I just include the title and then ask AI to summarize it for me. Actually, there's a lot of reading to do, right? That's the main challenge that I'm actually having. And I think that at this moment, I am still struggling with the skills of, like how to actually get the right, what is the right way of doing it.
Can I ask you how many articles you have reviewed so far?
Actually, last week I did almost 20, but it is not harder. It's like here and there, I just go through very quickly. But it takes a very long time also. I give some importance to certain parts, and I also try to use the method of DOI, right, and quote the right part. And then that part of it, I just tend to read more. And then the introduction and the conclusion. But in between, like losing track of it.
Excellent point. I'm very glad she said it. I believe you all can relate to this. First of all, imagine if through these 20, let's say another 30 also you reviewed before, if in these 50 you feel overwhelmed and you don't know what is where, imagine when you hit 1,000, and you will hit, you will. As the time goes by and you do your literature review, I remember I reviewed a paper during my PhD. I reviewed a paper when I was trying to summarize it and put it in my literature rate matrix, it was there already. I read and reviewed this article, but I couldn't even remember any part of it. So slowly you will be so overwhelmed. You need to have a way, a method. I don't know, maybe get some help from AI. How can I organize my readings? For me, I had a literature matrix, but sometimes reading an article was so interesting to me, I read and then I find out I've already read it and it's already recorded. Is a challenge, is overload of information we need to deal with.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Divya. Any other questions?
students,
Uh-huh.
what are the common questions they might ask?
Very good question. Don't worry about it too much. Focus on AI training for paper first, but since you asked, I'm going to give you some feedback. I know maybe your proposal defense is coming up, so your subconscious is constantly engaged with it. The kind of questions there is twofold. The first part, they will ask general questions. They want to test if you know what you're doing. Something like, explain the problem in a nutshell, in short. Or they will pinpoint some areas that they suspect you copy-paste from AI. They want to see if you know what you write. Why did you choose this topic? What makes you suitable to do this study? Why do you think you are the right person? These are general questions. But later on, more specific questions, especially in the variables area, is not the problem. You know, the question is not always like, so why did you choose this variable? Why is this a mediator in your study? They can simply ask questions of why something is not in your framework. That is what you should do. That is not a general question. That is very specific, and you are expected to know this as a PhD candidate. Your mediator, your intervening now is AI and job satisfaction, something. Job type. They can easily ask you why electronic word of mouth is not one of your motivators. So you can say, oh, I didn't think about it. That is a trap. You step in it, the examiners know you didn't do enough investigation. Okay. I will prepare something like a list of problem questions. I will pass it to you.
Yeah.
Don't worry too much about it. Okay. How about our friends from China? Any questions? How was the training so far? Okay? Okay? Any questions you have?
I don't see the question.
No question. All clear. All right. I sincerely thank you all for joining the training today, and I would like to pass you forms that are for evaluation. If you kindly fill up the forms and give it back to me maybe shortly before we conclude the training. Is it possible?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
you very much. I really appreciate your feedback. Once again, thank you all for joining the session. We continue in the next session. All right? Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.